I once scored a goal in a football match. Now, I've never been very good at football, but honestly, I once scored one of the best goals you would ever have seen. Only sadly for you, you weren't there. I used to play as a fullback when I did play, and one summer afternoon at school, I must have been 14, I guess, we were playing and my team had a corner and I ambled up the pitch to hover on the edge of the 18-yard box. There I was, just by the D, on the same side, the left-hand side that the corner was being taken. I didn't want to get into the box because there's always lots of pushing and shoving in the box, and I really didn't want to lose my glasses in the melee. So I stood there 18 yards out. And I was incredibly surprised, as I think was everyone else, when I found the ball heading straight towards me. I can only think that the guy taking the corner had completely mishit it, because I cannot imagine for a moment that he thought passing it to me was the best option. But there I was, unmarked, and the ball was coming in a perfect arc from the corner straight to me. And before it could bounce, before anything else could happen, I took a step with my right foot and swung my left, hitting it as sweetly as any ball has ever been hit. As sweet as Messi or Ronaldo or anyone else could do it. And then we all watched. All 22 players, the referee, the coaches at the side, we watched stunned as the ball bowed over the crowd of players in the box straight into the top right-hand corner of the net. I scored a goal and it was glorious. My teammates all ran up to me, they hugged me, they celebrated with me. The celebration was far more than you get from a normal goal, I think, because of the surprise that had hit everyone by not just how glorious it was, but who had scored it. Our coach stood stunned, wondering if he should put me up front in the next game. Even the opposition team congratulated me. It was beautiful. I was the man. And, of course, we ended up losing that game about 4-1, and I never did play up front. But for that moment, I was the man. As you can tell by the fact that I am still holding on to that one goal more than 20 years later. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. Like you were the man or the woman, like you were the person on the spot, the right person doing the right thing at the right time. The one with all the power, the focus of what's going on. In our reading today, there's a point at which Pilate brings Jesus out before the gathered crowd in a purple robe and a crown of thorns, and he says, "Here is the man." There's a whole load of significance in that. But this part of John's Gospel that we've read today is all about who is in the right place at the right time and who has the power in this situation, who the man is. In theory, Pilate is the only one who can sentence Jesus to death. In theory, he's the one with the power, and he seems reluctant to do that, to put Jesus to death. In reality, the Jewish leaders seem like the ones with more power, as they use the crowd to pressure Pilate to do what they want. The power of the crowd is in the fear of rebellion. The very thing that many of them are disappointed Jesus was not leading them to do. But over all of those power dynamics, and the deciding factor for Pilate is the Roman ruler, Caesar, back in Rome. Pilate's own life could be on the line if Caesar objects to what his decision is, and the Jewish leaders then threaten to go straight to the top. So as verse 16 tells us, finally Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. You've got Pilate, you've got the Jewish leaders, you've got the crowd, you've got Caesar, all with different sorts of power, but for all of these power dynamics, the person who is truly the man, the one who is really in exactly the right place, doing exactly the right thing at exactly the right time, is Jesus. And here Jesus exercises his power in submission. That seems strange to us, doesn't it? He exercises his power by submitting to the will of the Jewish leaders, the crowd, the threat of Caesar, the decree of Pilate. If Jesus didn't want to be there, if Jesus decided to leave, nothing would stop him. He had all the power. And he chooses to submit. In our world, power is all too often used to subject, to force our will upon others, to get our own way. I seriously wonder what it might be like if we all made a habit of using whatever power we have to imitate this man, the one true and perfect man. If we were to use the power we had in humble submission. Tomorrow we'll be reading the rest of John 19. That's verses 17 to 42.